Now we want to talk about representation of vector. Representation of vector. To represent a vector, consider a vector v in the direction of north-west. Consider a vector v in the direction of northwest. To represent that, we are going to use a line and a particular arrowhead showing the direction of vector v. And to represent any vector, it must have initial point and terminal point. Remember, to represent any vector, it must have initial point and terminal point. And also, we represent a vector by a straight line with the arrowhead. Now, to represent a vector v in the direction of northwest, it will be in this form, and this will be my arrowhead because the vector is going in towards this direction. And at this point, let me use another color here. At this point, this is our initial point and this is our what? Our terminal point. So we can label this A and B, but don't forget that this vector is just this vector v. Now, to represent your vector v in writing, it will be v equal to AB with this arrowhead here. That is how to represent vector. Now, let's move to what is called zero vector. Nothing much to explain about this zero vector. A zero vector is any vector of no length. A zero vector is any vector of no length. That is, a vector that has no length and there is no direction. We call them zero vector. And we donate a zero vector by 0. Have it in mind that if you add a zero vector to any vector, let's say you add zero vector to vector v, you will still have it as v. Remember, zero vector is any vector of no length, and in zero vector, no direction is associated with it. Alright, moving to the next one, let's talk about negative vector. Negative vector. Consider a vector v in this form. To have the negative of this vector v, it will be the same vector but going in opposite direction. You can see that this vector v here is going towards this direction. Now, to get the negative vector of this, we are going to change this vector to go in opposite direction, and it will change to this. So this is the negative of this. And do not forget that if you had a vector and its opposite together, you are going to have what is called zero vector. That is how to deal with the negative vector. Now consider that you have a vector v labeled as AB, that is your initial and your terminal point, which is B. Your v will be represented as AB with your arrowhead. Now, how do we represent the negative vector in this form? To represent the negative vector in this form, to be v equal to negative of AB. Negative of AB. And sometimes we represent it as BA. Remember that BA is the same thing as minus AB, and also AB is the same thing as saying minus BA. Do not forget your arrowhead. This is one of the important things that you need to understand. Is a particular property in vector. If you have a vector OA, it is the same thing as saying minus AO. This is the original vector, and this is the what? The opposite, that is the negative of this vector. Let's move on to another part that is very interesting in vector, and that is addition and difference of two vectors. Let's meet in the next video for better explanation. Thank you.